The Custodian's Secret. Part 1. The Man Nobody Noticed. Brooklyn, New York. At St. James High School, a quiet, tired-looking 62-year-old man worked day and night, cleaning hallways and fixing broken lights. His name was Jonathan Briggs, but most people just called him Janitor John. He spoke very little, kept to himself, and no one ever paid much attention to him. But one day, an 11th grade student named Maya Stevens was walking past the old storage room when she saw Briggs drawing something on the wall with chalk. As she got closer, she realized it was part of a map, and in the center of it was a star labeled Federal Reserve, 1971. Maya's curiosity was instantly sparked. Why would a simple janitor be drawing a map connected to America's central bank? Part 2. Hidden in the broom closet. Later that night, Maya snuck back into the school. She wanted to know what the janitor was hiding. The hallway cameras were mysteriously off. The lights flickered. Everything was silent. Behind the janitor's closet, she discovered a hidden room. Inside were maps, faded photographs, and a sealed letter that read, "They tried to stop me, but what I saw must not be forgotten." 1971, the year the dollar was separated from gold. It wasn't an accident. It was a plan. I was there. I saw everything. I'm still alive. Maya couldn't believe it. Could Briggs really have been an insider at the Federal Reserve during one of the most important moments in U.S. economic history? Part 3. They are still watching. At exactly 6:13 a.m. the next morning, two men in black suits arrived at the school. They claimed to be school inspectors, but their interest was clearly not in education. That day, Briggs didn't show up for work. His closet had been emptied. No evidence was left behind. But Maya had already taken photos of everything she found. Her father, a former investigative journalist who had once worked with intelligence sources, agreed to help her. Together, they began to dig deeper. But what they didn't know was this. Anyone who uncovers this truth is marked. And now, they were being watched. Part 30. The Final Tapes. In a storm-battered cabin deep in Montana, Maya and her father finally locate what Briggs referred to as the final tapes. Hidden behind false walls and encrypted with military-grade firewalls, the files reveal never-before-seen footage of the 1971 secret summit, where corporate, political, and intelligence leaders agreed to cut the dollar from gold in exchange for unlimited financial control. Among the attendees, a younger version of Senator Caleb Voss, now running for president. The tapes show him proposing the controlled collapse model, a system designed to push America into selective recessions to benefit secret investment conglomerates. The truth is earth-shattering. But as Maya finishes uploading the tapes to an anonymous server, she sees blinking red dots on the window glass, sniper scopes. Part 29. Briggs' True Identity. Back in an abandoned rail yard in Detroit, Maya finds an old locker that once belonged to Briggs. Inside is a passport under a different name. Colonel Jonathan Beckett, United States Treasury Intelligence. He wasn't just a janitor. He was once the lead investigator of economic warfare during the Cold War. Records reveal he was forced into hiding after he uncovered that a secret economic group, known as the Pillars, were laundering war funds through the Federal Reserve. The government erased his identity and made him disappear. Part 28. Operation Hollow Note. Using Briggs' notes, Maya discovers a covert operation called Hollow Note, a hidden campaign run by private defense contractors and rogue economists to manipulate inflation in favor of military expansion. Operation Hollow Note created fake economic crises so that insider firms could profit from the panic. The same firms are now backing Senator Voss's presidential campaign. Maya and her father realize the next crisis is scheduled to start within 12 days. Part 27. Betrayal in the Ranks. Maya and her father seek help from an old contact, Erica Shaw, a retired NSA analyst. At first, Erica offers them shelter and access to a secure satellite network. But that night, Maya finds Erica speaking secretly on a burner phone. She's working for the Pillars. A fight breaks out. Maya's father is wounded, but they escape with a backup drive, one holding the names of every politician on the group's payroll. Part 26. a signal from the Capitol. Back in D.C., Maya hacks into a hidden frequency in the Capitol's underground archives. There, she triggers a forgotten fail-safe system, a series of emergency signals designed to warn the people if democracy is ever compromised. But before the signal finishes transmitting, the power cuts out. Outside, unmarked black SUVs begin surrounding the building. Part 25, the cipher code. The mysterious map Briggs had drawn on the wall turns out to be more than symbolic. When scanned with infrared light, Maya uncovers an ancient cipher used by intelligence agents in the 1800s. Briggs had embedded a hidden message. The key to freedom lies where no one dares to look, the Founder's Archive, lower level 3. But that level was sealed off in 1982 after a mysterious fire. No one has entered since, or so they believed. Part 24, Eyes in the Sky. While flying over Nebraska in a small plane, Maya notices something odd, military drones tailing them, but not officially registered. They're privately owned. She traces them to a tech company called Genexus, known for crowd control AI and behavioral tracking. Genexus is owned by a man named Cameron Roth, one of the signatories on the 1971 plan. They're not just watching Maya, they're predicting her next move. Part 23, The Confession. From a secure bunker in the Rocky Mountains, a retired CIA whistleblower agrees to speak with Maya. His name is Alan Drexler, codename Quill. Quill confirms everything Briggs said, but more chilling. He says the entire education system was reshaped in the early 1980s to create obedient thinkers who never question financial decisions. Part 30. The final tapes, truth buried in static. The rain slammed against the windows of an abandoned cabin deep in the Montana woods. Inside, Maya connected the last data cable to an ancient-looking drive labeled Omega tapes. Her hands trembled. This was what Briggs had hidden for 30 years. As the footage loaded, grainy black and white video emerged. In a hidden conference room beneath the Federal Reserve, a young Senator Caleb Voss was addressing a table of 12 men, heads of banks, intelligence agencies, and weapons manufacturers. We sever the dollar from gold, he said, not for liberty, but for leverage. The men applauded. Suddenly, Maya's screen flickered. A line of red dots danced across the cabin walls. Laser scopes. Snipers. Outside, shadowy figures emerged from the tree line. She whispered, "They found us." Part 29. The name he buried. At a rusted-out Detroit train yard, Maya found what she never expected, a military locker marked J. Beckett. Inside was a folded uniform with the seal of the U.S. Treasury's Special Economic Warfare Division. Briggs wasn't just a janitor. He was Colonel Jonathan Beckett, lead investigator of America's covert financial wars during the Cold War. A man who uncovered too much. One yellowed file folder had red stamped letters. Classified, Operation Bastion. According to it, he had uncovered a billion-dollar war fund laundering scheme, where profits for Vietnam were funneled into private banks, some still active today. The government silenced him. They erased his identity and forced him into the shadows. But he chose the school because the truth always starts with students. Part 28, Operation Hollow Note. Buried in Briggs' notes was a single phrase circled in red. Operation Hollow Note equals invisible war. Maya decoded it through encrypted files hidden inside federal budget line items. The project was a decades-long plan to destabilize global markets and then rescue them, all while elites profited from the chaos. One file showed how the 2008 financial crash was not an accident. It was a simulation gone live, controlled by predictive AIs and silent investors. And the next collapse? Scheduled to begin in 11 days. Part 27, A Knife in the Dark. Desperate, Maya and her father turned to Erica Shaw, a former NSA cryptanalyst. She greeted them with warmth and tears. Briggs had once saved her career. But something was wrong. Maya noticed Erica using a secure burner phone at 3 a.m., whispering, "Yes, she has the backup drive. They trust me." Betrayal. At dawn, masked operatives stormed the cabin. Erica had sold them out. Maya and her father escaped, but not before her father was shot in the shoulder. In his bloodied hand, the encrypted drive with the names of every U.S. official compromised by the pillars. Part 26, Capital Code Red. Using a relic Briggs left behind, a coin minted in 1862, Maya accessed a sealed chamber below the U.S. Capitol. There, she found a machine built by early intelligence officers, the code Red Signal System, a failsafe to broadcast nationwide if democracy ever fell into shadow hands. She triggered the sequence, but halfway through, the building went dark. Backup generators failed. Then came the sound of wheels, black SUVs surrounding the building. Someone knew she was inside. Part 25, The Founder's Cipher. Briggs' chalk map was more than a drawing. When exposed to UV light, it revealed symbols only used in 18th century American ciphers. With it, Maya decoded a secret. Where the flame was first lit, the key remains. Founder's Archive, Level 3. The archive had been sealed off in 1982 after a mysterious fire that killed 3 historians. Officials said it was accidental. But why did every corpse have scorched fingertips, as if they tried to destroy documents? Part 24, The Eyes Above. During a private plane escape over Nebraska, Maya noticed small blips on the wing. They weren't birds. Part 19, The Secret Beneath Liberty Hall. Rain poured over Independence Hall as Maya stepped beneath the ancient arches, heart pounding. With a forged curator's badge and Briggs' cipher ring, she slipped into a forgotten sub-basement. There, hidden behind a false wall, she found the Liberty Blueprint, a rolled parchment dated 1779, stamped with a red wax seal. It wasn't just a map, it was a warning, in script almost burned into the paper. He who controls the currency shall command the republic. If ever the people forget their right to question, then the bell must toll once more. Behind the blueprint, a small brass bell, identical to the original, etched with a modern date, 1971. Part 18, The Midnight Listener. At 3:11 a.m., Maya tuned into a short-wave radio frequency Briggs had scribbled in his final notes. The signal was broken static until a voice emerged. A woman. You found the bell, haven't you? He trusted you. That means it's time. The woman claimed to be Eva Rell, a former Fed analyst turned fugitive. She warned that a final override protocol, titled Black Whistle, was built into U.S. economic systems in the 70s. If triggered, it would give absolute control to a single AI overseer, Vault Code, which was now online again. Vault Code didn't forget betrayal. Part 17, The Betrayer's List. Eva shared access to a list known only as the Signers. 17 individuals who had approved the separation from gold and built the Vault Code AI. Many were still alive and more powerful than ever. Among them, a sitting Supreme Court Justice, the CEO of Genexus, a major TV news anchor, and a pastor leading a 10 million member megachurch. The list was encrypted inside an old 1971 typewriter rigged with a magnetic tape spool. Maya recovered it from a forgotten Cold War outpost in Vermont. The betrayal wasn't just political. It was spiritual, judicial, technological, and psychological. Part 16, The Vault Below Wall Street. Beneath a decommissioned subway tunnel near Wall Street, Maya found a hidden freight elevator. It led to an underground chamber called the Red Vault. Inside were hundreds of steel drawers. One drawer held the most shocking document yet, a signed agreement between the U.S. Treasury and 3 private families, granting them permanent, invisible control over currency issuance during economic emergencies. The signatures? Rothschild, Evos, and Beckett, Briggs' own father. Maya collapsed to her knees. Briggs had been born into it, and he had turned against it. Part 15, The Girl in the Photograph. In an envelope marked, if she ever finds the vault, Maya discovered a Polaroid. A little girl, no older than 6, standing in front of a chalkboard filled with formulas. In the corner, subject, MS. Her own initials. It was her. She had been part of a child cognition experiment conducted by Genexus under a government contract. training selected children for early economic modeling and behavioral prediction. She wasn't just uncovering the story. She was written into it. Part 14, The Simulation Chamber. Maya and her father infiltrated a data center in Virginia, hidden beneath a fake agriculture lab. There, they found a simulation chamber, a massive circular server where vault code had simulated hundreds of financial outcomes since the 1980s. Every crash, every recovery, every bubble, vault code predicted it all. Briggs had tried to destroy it once. He failed. Maya now faced a choice: destroy the system entirely, or repurpose it and use vault code to expose its creators. The chamber's countdown had begun. She had 14 hours. Part 13, Letters from the Past. While hiding in an old Kentucky safe house, Maya discovered Briggs' childhood journal, sealed in a tin box. It revealed a truth deeper than policy or currency. They don't just want obedience. They want apathy. They want the soul of America quiet. If no one cares, no one resists. He wrote about his mother, a teacher who was fired for teaching students how banks really work. He was 10.